The Blue Cliff Record, Case 18, the National Teacher's Seamless Monument. The Emperor asked National Teacher Xuezong, "What do you require after you have passed from life?" The National Teacher said, "Give me a seamless monument." The Emperor said, "Master, please tell me what that monument would look like." The National Teacher was silent for a while. He asked, "Understand?" The Emperor said, "I don't understand." The National Teacher said, "I have transmitted the teaching to my disciple Danhuan. He's well versed in the matter. You can summon him to ask about it." After the National Teacher passed on, the Emperor summoned Danhuan and asked him to explain what it all meant. Danhuan said, "South of Jiang and north of Tan, in between there's enough gold for the whole nation. Beneath the shadowless tree we're on the same ferry. In the palace of glass there is no one who knows." So that's got all the hallmarks of your classic Zen koan, but a few differences as well. So let's see what we can actually make of this. So a couple of years ago, I was going through jacket in the wardrobe, black jacket I don't use very much, and I found in the inside pocket a small slip of paper. And I got it out and had a look at it, and it's actually the notes that I'd made for the eulogy at my dad's funeral, and that's going back decades now. And it's funny rereading this because, well, I showed the notes to my wife and she reminded me, "Heavens, you were gushy there. It's just this, oh, what a wonderful guy. A good guy, a good life." And I suppose it took that form for a number of reasons. One of which was it was only a few days since I'd been holding his hand as he took his last breath. And that last breath was in some ways a first step on my Zen journey. And of course it was also for my mum. She was there. She wasn't dead. She wasn't in the coffin. She was there with me, and it was about, well, what's coming after? What's happening now? What's happening here? He's gone. She's here. And of course, what this eulogy, what this speech actually had virtually nothing to do with was the complexity of my real relationship with this human being. The fact that it wasn't unalloyed loveliness. There were moments when in imagination, though not in reality, I could cheerfully have killed him. How is that different? So I'll say this because in a sense this is really what this koan's about. And we can take it as being mysterious. There's lots of enigma here. Or being the impossibility of communicating anything, or any of these kind of Zen cliches. But I think it's rather more interesting than that. And I think it's much more immediate. So let's have another look. The emperor asked national teacher Huizong, "What do you require after you've passed from life?" So as always, we might usefully start by asking, well, who's talking? The Emperor of China is, it's the Emperor of China. Can't imagine how important that is. And the national teacher, well, actually it isn't some vague hereditary post. This is the national teacher. This is the Zen teacher who's been taken up by, actually, I think the emperor's father or brother, whoever was the emperor before, and made the national teacher. And this is a particular passage in the history of Zen, from being in many ways a kind of fringe Buddhist sect into one which has the ear of power, and a certain national presence. And the emperor is, the emperor is the link between heaven and earth. The emperor is, at one level, the practical man, the man who has this vast civil service spread out into every corner of the empire, administering, arranging, carrying out practical tasks. We remember the emperor from the Bodhidharma koan. What of all my great Buddhist works, this founding of monasteries, building of bridges, what are these all worth? And Bodhidharma, of course, replies, no merit, nothing. Not in this sense. And the emperor's quite an interesting figure here. He's a friend, some people even say a Dharma heir of the national teacher. Now suddenly Zen is at the centre of the empire, the centre of power. And so it seems quite reasonable for him to ask, well, okay, national teacher, what will you require after you've gone? In one sense, maybe he's being enigmatic there. But actually, and this is something I've not seen referred to in the commentaries, is they're Buddhists, for heaven's sake. There are rituals to be performed. There's an important body of ritual practice which is directly concerned with the national teacher. But of course, the other thing we traditionally do, or in medieval China we traditionally do for great Zen masters after they've gone, is we build them a monument. We build them some kind of stupa or stele, which is a record, an acknowledgement of their importance, a summary of who they were and what they achieved. And so the national teacher says, build me a seamless monument. Well, seamless. A monument that's not in different parts. A monument that has no cracks to it. A monument that is whole. One. So what's the point of that then? Perfectly reasonably. What would that seamless monument be like? Silence. Do you understand? And of course the emperor doesn't understand. So actually he comes back with a completely honest answer. I don't understand. That's the answer he should give, because he doesn't understand. So then standard Zen strategy, we say, well, go and talk to so-and-so, they'll explain it for you. And of course, normally when you go and talk to so-and-so, you get exactly the same thing. You get exactly the same response. They go, well, do you understand now? And then you either get it or you don't. But here it's completely different. We go and talk to the national teacher's heir, his student, and he gives a very different response. He answers in terms of poetry. He answers in words, things we can understand. And okay, they're a bit mysterious, they're a bit enigmatic. But what's the difference here? Well, the very obvious difference is that he's alive and the national teacher's dead. And I don't think we should underestimate that. And in fact, I think we can rethink this whole exchange a bit in terms of relationship. So what is the emperor actually asking? Is he asking about how to further the national teacher's continuation in terms of another embodiment and make that as smooth as he possibly can? Is he talking about the national teacher's legacy for him, for the emperor, for the empire, for the future of Zen? And so, onto us here, sitting together, thinking about this koan. And if so, what's the nature of that relationship? You see, it's one thing to sum up that relationship as, oh, the national teacher was this, he did that, he left these incredibly wise words. But the point is, actually, if we think of continuation, that's another word Thich Nhat Hanh's very fond of, my continuation after my death, in terms of an ongoing living relationship through those who come after. So we could almost rephrase the emperor's question as, well, what's our relationship going to be like after you're dead? How's that going to work? And the only possible answer to that is, I don't know, because I won't be here. Silence. Now do you understand? Well, no, I don't understand. Well, I don't know, and you don't know. We're back into the space of not knowing. We're back into the space of, well, either we try and button you down, we try and make a package, a version of the national teacher, the national teacher's teaching, the national teacher's legacy, or we see that it's ongoing, that it continues through me, that it continues through your students, that it continues in whatever happens to further your teaching, your continuation. And your continuation is you, or simply the rolling onwards of the Dharma throughout the empire. Not separate. And open and possible. So build me a seamless monument. Build me a monument that isn't once and for all, that doesn't misrepresent me as this or that, because I'm vast, I'm infinite, I contain multitudes, just as you and everybody else does. And this is an important thing to say to the man who links heaven and earth, the man who links the cycles of the cosmos with the mundane practicalities of administering an empire, promoting Zen. So at this point, before the national teacher's dead, face to face, teacher and emperor, what can be said about their relationship then? I don't know. I don't understand. Okay, you don't get it. The national teacher said, I have transmitted the teaching to my disciple, Danwan. He's well versed in the matter. You can summon him to ask about it. After the national teacher passed on, the emperor summoned Danwan and asked him to explain what it all meant. Danwan said, south of Jiang and north of Tan, in between there's enough gold for the whole nation. Beneath the shadowless tree, we're on the same ferry. In the palace of glass, there is no one who knows. And the significance of this very different answer, I think, is twofold. Firstly, you can say, well, who's speaking now? And what's the situation now? And the situation is the national teacher's dead. The national teacher, in that sense, is gone. But hey, here we are talking about his monument. In another sense, his continuation, he's still with us. And of course, the emperor's now not talking to the national teacher. He's talking to the next generation, the generation who are here now. And so what is this seamless monument? South of Jiang and north of Tan, we don't have to know Chinese geography super well. I think everybody's agreed this means the whole world, throughout the whole world. In between, there's enough gold for the whole nation. Gold? Presumably, we're talking about the teaching here. But maybe using this wonderful ambivalence of Dharma, we're talking about, well, actually, the whole world just is non-separate. It is, in that sense, full, replete, perfect. What more do you need? The world is already, and always has been and always will be, non-separate. Surely that's enough. Beneath the shadowless tree, we're on the same ferry. And there's an additional little comment here from Zhedu. The sea is calm. The river is transparent. The river flows. We're on the ferry boat crossing the river. And the water's clear. And we can see it's active. It's living. And we're all there together. That's the other important point. We're all there together on the communal ferry boat. And that's what we need to know. And in the palace, in the Crystal Palace, there is no one who knows. And again, this could refer to a lot of different things, but crystal is always fixity and transparence. And the idea of a perfectly transparent, perfectly understandable, nailed down, finalised, finished. Well, that's problematic, isn't it? And actually there's no one who knows. Not the emperor, not the teachers. There's the world. There's the world worlding. We're pointing to the whole world as the seamless monument. We're talking to our non-separation. We're talking about a non-separation that extends through life and death, that extends to the corners of the empire, that extends throughout time, past and future. This is the seamless monument, already present, but that each time to sit, each time to walk, and each moment of awareness, we build every day.